Are you going to help me?
Well, good morning, Madam Mayor. What a beautiful day here in Savannah, Georgia.
Good morning. Are we still in Savannah?
We're on the outskirts of Savannah.
It is a little warm and muggy.
Yeah, it's pretty toasty.
So today we are at the Fort Pulaski National Fort Monument. I don't know the correct verbiage there. Fill me in anytime you're ready.
Fort Pulaski National Monument. But it's also called Fort Pulaski, which is right there.
So, did you want to talk about your park pass?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So here's the National Park Pass. If you're a military veteran, you're entitled to get a free one of those. That also allows you and your party of up to 3 people can accompany you and your vehicle, and everything in there is free.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And we had got it at St. Augustine, so we're able to use it at all the national park passes. We also used it in Chattanooga on the top of that one mountain. That was a national park up there, so that was free for us.
Yeah. And I don't know where. I think that's all we've used it so far.
I think so. And then this one.
Yeah.
So, but they're all over the country, and we expect to visit more places, so
yay!
It definitely pay for itself. But we're at the visitor center, so we're going to walk in here first. And there are a couple of trails that walk around. You can see people starting to show up here, and there's a trail that walks back into the tree line there. And there's a lot of Civil War history here, so we're going to be checking all that stuff out. All right, so we just came out of the visitor center, which I'll show you is just right there. And they have a 25-minute film in there, a documentary. I'm sure you can find that online. The sound was a little deep, so I think it would muffle trying to record that. And it was a little bit long. But basically, I'll give you a little history. Fort Pulaski was built back in, oh my goodness, was it like 1923 or 1823? Must have been 1823. Anyway, move fast forward to 1861 to 1865 during the Civil War. Georgia took it over. Confederate soldiers manned it, and then they seceded from the Union. 4 years later, they lost the war, they surrendered. Lincoln was, they started with the Emancipation Proclamation. Of course, you know the Civil War started with the firing of Fort Sumter in South Carolina. So that's what started it. That's not far from here. And basically this was in Confederate use for about 4 years. In 1865, 64-65, the war ended. Union soldiers took it back, deactivated. The Army had it for a while. I think the Navy had it for a while. And now it's a monument. It's been a monument ever since. So it really wasn't used for a long time. Just the Civil War was its biggest use, but it was activated before the Civil War. Like way before the Civil War, like 40 years before the Civil War. So it's got a lot of history. Pretty neat. It's a warm, muggy day. I think it's about 90 degrees. Very humid. Looks like this was once a drawbridge. Kind of looks like, huh? Neat. This is pretty neat. You're able to walk through the catacombs. Would you call these catacombs? I guess. Of the fort, and the lights like automatically come on with the motion. Pretty neat.
Look at all the shells.
Yeah, it's all this is made with shells and sand of the area. You can see where they've had to kind of maybe fabricate the corners with modern stone to keep it intact. Pretty cool. It is cooler in here, but not as cool as you would think it would be. It's still very humid in here. Maybe they've had to put like a lintel up here to secure it. Pretty neat that you can walk through though. That's nice. Oh, there's more tunnels.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
Which tunnel you want to take?
I don't know. Let's try this one. Follow the red brick road.
This is the first fort I've been to with tunnels.
Yeah. Oop, watch your step. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, light's coming on. There you go. I wish there was a little sign that said what these are. Doesn't really say what they are. Different rooms.
What do you think was in all these rooms?
I don't know. I would imagine some are storage for the cannons, and others were sleeping quarters.
You see there's holes in the floor for drainage.
Yeah. Yeah, it may not be waterproof. You can see water down there. And I guess that's a place to go to when you're being fired upon. Oh, this is probably where they had a cannon. Pretty neat. There's the parking area. Yeah, this is like, I want to say this is where they kept most of their ammunition, but it could have been the sleeping quarters too. Ooh, that's a strange looking bug. Maybe we'll come across a factoid, something to read that tells us about this. Because the main fort area, this really isn't part of the main fort area. Oh, this one dead ends. Locked.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what the little holes are for. All right. Oh, okay, that was the left side. We just did a full circle. All right. So that was the area kind of behind the fort. The main fort being over here. So the weather was much nicer back in October than it is now, isn't it?
Right.
Visiting Savannah, I'd stay away from July and August. It is humid.
You want to do it out here or chapel with a couple hands?
Rather do it outside.
Okay.
The humidity just goes.
Yeah, sure.
As soon as you get 5 people in there, and then the fans.
It's one of the standing guard rooms, they call it. Pretty neat. What they found when digging here and the preservation of the fort.
That's where they controlled the drawbridge.
Oh, the drawbridge. Yeah. All right. Supply closet. The flags they use for signaling here. And all the supplies that they used. Pretty neat. We're just making our way around the fort here.
No, in fact, the four. With this, we had
Soon they're going to be doing the park rangers are going to be telling us about the fort, and we're going to capture some of that at the end. This looks like the church or the chapel. Pretty neat. Pretty neat how they built a city in here. Self-functioning. Oh, the officers' quarters. Looks like they worked on puzzles back in the day. See what they called this. The mess hall. Officers' mess hall.
At least all these windows give it a nice breeze going through.
Yeah, there's a pretty good breeze blowing through. It's just humid as all get out. This is the infirmary. Where the sick.
Meds.
Here's the meds. Probably the doctor's workstation there.
You'll notice there's a fireplace in every room.
Yeah. I didn't know it got that cold here. General Orders number 7.
This for the fire.
Yeah, Major General David Hunter. I see his name quite a bit on things. And the Hunter Army Airfield is nearby. And this is located on Tybee Island. I think we forgot to mention that in the opening. But it is outside Savannah, but it's on the coast. Tybee Island, that's a popular tourist destination. The powder keg room. Pretty neat. Yeah, so you can see here is where they had the cannons. You can also see the wheels where they would redirect the cannon. You can see the inner tracking of the wheels there so they can move them left and right and aim them through the portholes. You can see there's several of them. And here it talks about preserving the fort and what they've done to, here it is. Here's one they have set up. It's a little different. I don't see an inner trail, but they probably had different ones. Pretty neat. Wonder if you can actually, nope. They're pretty heavy. Probably takes a few men to push that around. All right, moving the heavy guns, it tells you how they moved them around. And here's some of the larger wheels here.
Those are sling carts.
Yeah,
I need a sling cart
I like
to
how
sling
you're,
stuff around.
I like how you're color coordinated.
I didn't even do that on purpose. Normally you gotta call the fashion police on me.
Hot girl summer, she's got hot pink on.
Heavy lifters.
They do look heavy.
Oh, they're big.
Yeah. Ooh. From cannons to quarters. Pretty neat how they did things back then. I tell you what, they built stuff to last. This thing is still standing after a bunch of years. Says they had a baseball team, a band, a drum corps, entertainment. Changing of the guard. They've done a good job preserving these things. They look pristine. I don't know if that's a Jack Daniels barrel. Shipped down from Tennessee.
It's important to remember your history.
Yep. By erasing history or forgetting history, you're doomed to repeat it. You learn from history and you don't repeat your mistakes, but you don't forget it. You remember it and you file it. And occasionally you go back and review it. I can imagine when those things shot off that these things
The
pushed
recoil.
back. Yeah, the recoil on these things. Woo. Okay, so this placard right here answered my question about these. I thought it might have been some protection they did to kind of preserve the doors from the sun, but that's not the case. They had them back in the day, and they're used as blindage. Incoming mortar rounds coming inside the fort, and troops could pass under them and be protected. Oh, so we learned something. So we go up. Want to go up, or you want to keep going around?
Might as well finish the bottom.
Okay.
You know what happens when you go off course.
Oop, she wants to go this way. Watch out for the birds.
Yeah, he just flew out the window.
Okay, good.
Cleared them out for you.
I don't do birds.
There's a little birdie in the window. Want to say hi?
Oh, they had a prison. Cornmeal and pickles.
Ooh, I like pickles. Are you going to help me?
How'd you end up in another prison?
They caught me.
You're always going to prison. Do I have to make a phone call?
Somebody should. Are you going to put money on my books?
I'll put money on your books.
Help me.
I'll
Get
put
me
money on your
out.
books. Okay, I'll make a call. And here we have the commissary conspiracy. You can read about that there if you hit pause. 1864. Army bread. Mmm. Looks like some common leather works where they made sashes and belts and pew-pew holders and shoes, leather bags, satchels, and whatnot. Pretty neat. Colonel Olmsted's quarters. Pretty neat. So here, this tree, and it's a fig tree, and you're able to pick from it too.
It's humongous.
It is huge. It was here, actually here in the 1800s. They had pecans, they had gardens in here, they even had cows. So that's pretty neat. All inside the courtyard here. Pretty good sized courtyard. I'd say it's at least a couple acres in size. Maybe more. Let's take a look around the upper rim. Shall we? It's a big old fig tree.
Wow, that thing is massive.
It's good to see the kids out getting history. Lots of young people out today. You see them everywhere. It's good to see that. All right, here we go. Key to the South. And we are here on the map. And looking out over the Savannah River. This should be the mouth of the Savannah River. So I guess this is what they were protecting from the ships coming in off the coast. And this is out off of Fort Pulaski just a little bit. It's about a quarter of a mile, quarter of a mile, 0.25. Mine control station, maybe like a forward observe area. So it's like a little mini fort outside the fort. Looks like we can walk in there. Let's go see. And here's a placard. Oh, just a square room.
Well, these steps are high.
Yeah, real steep steps. I guess if you make them taller, you don't have to make as many of them, right? Looks like there's a pier out there. We'll walk out there too. The hustle and bustle. Used to be a thriving area. And they got trails all over here. They got a trail that goes that way. And the lighthouse trail goes that way. Then there's a pier out there. Pretty area. All right, what'd you think of that?
I thought it was great. I especially loved the talk they gave. I learned so much, and I had a few figs from the fig tree, and they were so delicious.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Yeah, the best ones, though, you can't reach because they're very high and far in, because you want to look for the purple ones. You can make a nice jam out of it.
Yeah, they're really good.
So it was great.
So
a little hot, but
very hot.
Bring your neck fan.
Yeah. Fort Pulaski on Tybee Island in outside Savannah, Georgia on the coast. Enjoyed it.
Look 'em up.
Look them up.